Hey, good evening, everyone. We're missing a few people, but it's 7 o'clock. It's a beautiful night, so we're going to get started. My name is Judy, and I'm the office administrator for OK Cycle and Adventure Tours. I also am a travel agent. Tonight, we're going to talk about Germany, and we have a special guest who's going to do a much better job than I would. So we're going to start with a brief introduction from me. I'm just going to give you kind of an overview of what we're going to do tonight, a little bit about OK Cycle and Adventure Tours, and then I'm going to pass things along to Anja, who's going to tell us all about Germany. I want to welcome you. I do have one request. That's if you have any questions, please type them into the chat rather than interrupting the presentation. We'll answer anything we can tonight. Anything we can't answer, we can follow up with an email and answer your questions. We're OK Cycle and Adventure Tours. We will take you anywhere in the world you want to go. We can take you there. We're a fully licensed TECO travel agency, and we specialize in active vacations. We do bicycle tours. This is most of what we do. Basically, you can see the world on your bike. We do bike tours. These are tours where your hotel follows you on the trip. So you can spend the day cycling, and then in the evening, your hotel is where you went. We do trekking and hiking tours. And we also do wild and crazy adventure tours. I'm going to give you a very brief introduction to who we are. This is Manny. Manny is the founder and CEO. Manny has been traveling and booking tours and taking tours and organizing tours for over 25 years. He has contacts all over the world. He knows everyone and everything about traveling. I'm Judy. I'm the office manager. I'm also a licensed travel advisor. I'm Australian English by birth and Canadian by choice. I've lived in several countries, including Germany. And when I'm not working, I'm traveling, riding my bike, or planning my next adventure. Ross Travel is a licensed travel advisor. Ross specializes in European vacations. And this is Howard. Howard is our controller. He sends you your bills, but he's a great guy. Tonight's speaker is Anja Brokjans, and I can't pronounce that correctly, from the German National Tourist Office, and she's going to tell us all about Germany. So I'm going to pass things along to her.
Well, thank you, Judy. Thank you all for joining this webinar. I'm very honored to speak to you today. And now I'd like to share my screen and start my presentation. Yes, my name is Anja Brokjans. I'm German with a Dutch last name. I'm the Director Canada for the German National Tourist Office in Toronto. And it's my pleasure to provide you today with the insights into Germany's latest news, campaigns, and amazing cycling routes. If you would like to post information on social media, please feel free to use the hashtags Germany Tourism and Visit Germany. So what's on the agenda today? First, I like to present the latest facts and figures, followed by an insight in our yearly campaigns that are called German Local Culture and Embrace German Nature. And we'll finish off with a close look at amazing cycling routes in Germany. Enjoy. Tourism is facing major challenges after 2 years of the pandemic and against the backdrop of the terrible war in Ukraine. In times like these, it is particularly important to send a signal for tourism that promotes peace, brings people together, and is synonymous with tolerance and openness. With the German borders having been open to fully vaccinated Canadians for some time and no testing required to enter the country, the moment is right to talk about booking travel. No tests and no quarantine are required, neither for your departure nor for your return. Airlines are also ramping up their flight schedule, offering more direct flights from Canada to Germany. Lufthansa Group and Air Canada are offering up to 91 direct flights from Canada to Germany. And also Condor is returning to Canada, offering nonstop seasonal flights. And they just announced that they will have nonstop Toronto-Frankfurt service 4 times a week. This will become a year-round service. Let's take a look why Canadians come to Germany. The vast majority, it's 58%, is coming for holiday and leisure purposes. And when on vacation, 42% spend time on city holidays, for instance, in Berlin, Frankfurt, Munich, or Hamburg. And 20% tour Germany's diverse states and regions. The pandemic has led consumers to a new understanding of themselves and their priorities. It has emphasized the importance of health and balanced lifestyles and has increased the desire to rebuild a greener and sustainable world. Germany has a lot to offer in terms of sustainability, and one of Germany's USPs is its diverse, sustainable vacation offerings. Germany ranks number 4 out of 165 countries in the Sustainable Development Report from last year. First of all, I'd like to give you an insight into our annual campaign, which is called German Local Culture, that emphasizes on authentic local experiences in urban destinations, while shining a light on rural areas and their sustainable tourism offerings. By providing a wide range of inspiration for travelers, the campaign also promotes Germany as a destination for longer holidays, for the culturally minded, for families, and for people like you who like to get active. And it's a saying, a picture can say, is worth 1,000 words. And that's why I'd like to show you a short video.
What do you see when you think of Germany? Romantic towns and villages with half-timbered houses and narrow winding alleyways? Vibrant cities brimming with art, culture and museums? Culinary delights with local flair? Traditional craftsmanship with an eye for detail? Or perhaps a richly varied countryside that has a character all of its own? Join me as we embark on a journey to discover Germany together. Setting out across infinitely wide landscapes and into dreamy little hamlets steeped in their own unique stories. Onwards to great art and culture, and to vibrant contemporary cities. Discover unique historical buildings and modern-day monuments. Embark on a culinary journey to discover the finest flavors and unique local specialities. Enjoy authentic and traditional crafts and modern design trends. Visit its people who share a unique warmth and the countryside that makes this country so special. Discover exciting new places in a country where there is so much to see. Visit the travel destination Germany.
I'd like to start with one of the 4 assets of the campaign, German Local Culture. The 4 assets are green, taste, flair, and craft. Green is all about sustainable experiences in nature and destination Germany. And Germany can be explored by bicycle with 76,000 kilometers of cycle path and 250 long-distance cycling routes, or on foot with 53,000 hiking trails. As we all know, traveling without a car protects the environment, and switching to a bike combines the experience of the countryside with active relaxation. Whether on the water with 2,400 kilometers of coastline in the North and Baltic Sea, with 50 islands in the forest, or in 60 national parks and over 100 nature parks, you can get very close to nature. Accommodation and tourist businesses also work sustainably and make happiness become green. Flair for mind and soul. Germany means diversity. Every city, every region, every landscape is different, and in each one, there's an infinite amount of things to discover. Germany's flair can be found in 25,000 castles and palaces, enjoyed in wonderful old towns, and can be felt in historical theaters and opera houses, as well as countless cultural venues for all genres. And many a gem is found where you least expect it. Look forward to wonderful surprises. Let yourself be surprised and enchanted. Enjoy the flair of an extraordinary place. The Made in Germany label has a positive reputation, not just in Germany, but I would say all over the world. The excellent reputation of manufacturing in Germany does not only apply to machine production, but comes from centuries of craftsmanship. So join us on a journey to traditional bakers and avant-garde fashion designers and experience how classic craftsmanship becomes art through precision, attention to detail, and a sense of tradition. The last asset is taste. It's about outstanding food and drink that is regional yet cosmopolitan. Discover this fascinating worlds of taste. Regional delicacies taste particularly good in their native country, and every area in Germany has its own specialties, just as diverse as the landscapes which they come from. Traditional recipes and specialties, regional products, creative chefs. It is a combination of the old and the new, which makes a culinary gourmet tour through Germany so exciting. Now, please let me give you one more hint of the other campaign we are running this year. It's called Embrace German Nature. And this campaign markets the unique natural landscapes in Germany in order to inspire nature-loving travelers for Germany's diverse protected natural area. From the coast to the mountains, embrace Germany's unique natural landscapes. And I have a very short video. Hope you enjoy it.
When we embrace, it always feels like home. When I look across the sky to the horizon, that's when I can see a place I like to go, a place I may not know, a place that I can run to, a place for me and you, a place you have to see, so beautiful and free, a place that you can come to, a place for me and you. You take me wherever water flows.
Yeah, that is Embrace German Nature. I love this video and it always makes me homesick. It's about deep forests, clear lakes, blooming heathland, fairy tale valleys. It's just wonderful. Germany has a vast area of natural landscapes, all of them stunning. 3 UNESCO World Natural Heritage Sites, 16 UNESCO Biosphere Reserves, 60 national parks, and 106 nature reserves preserve this unique treasure. A third of the total area of Germany is covered in forests, which have always been a much beloved place for people to come, as well as a green lung providing valuable oxygen. And about the size, I don't know if you were aware, Germany is 357 square kilometer, which is about the size of Newfoundland and Labrador, just to give you an idea about the size of Germany. But now I want to talk about cycling routes in Germany. And cycling has long been considered an insider tip for intensive holiday enjoyment. If you cycle, you can enjoy nature up close, get to know the country and its people at eye level, and get your body going. The whole of Germany beckons with wonderful routes. On our website, germany.travel, you will find an interactive map with a lot of great cycling routes. And I picked a few, and in the following, I'd like to show you some very interesting cycling routes. So here are the insider tips, and it's time to hit the road, I would say. The first tour is called 100 Castles and Palaces. It's a romantic journey back in time. It's mostly through green parks, meadows, and pastures with more than 100 castles and palaces along the way. This route majestically lords over the other cycle routes. For interconnecting loops, which are predominantly flat and each cover between 210 and 310 kilometers, wind their way through the Münsterland region. Cyclists can choose where to start from, and in many cases, the attractions are only a few kilometers apart. The glorious heyday of knights, barons, and princes is brought back to life by pretty old towns, gardens reminiscent of Versailles, and buildings in the Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque styles. Münsterland region is known for its extensive range of facilities for cyclists. Rhine, wine, and world-class culture. The Rhine cycle route runs for over 318 kilometers through the Rhineland and almost always close to the riverbanks. Thanks to the excellent rail connections available on both banks, you can plan the route with flexibility tailored to your wishes. Historic cities such as Speyer, Ludwigshafen, Worms, Mainz, and Koblenz are on the way, as are the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And last but not least, the trail crosses 3 regions renowned for wine growing. Enjoy the landscape, culture, and a good Riesling in the evening. A journey to the region's prettiest corner. I just came back from this area. I was in Germany for some days, and I was in the Allgäu. And I would say there's no better phrase to sum up the Allgäu region than lush green. Its stunning landscape is filled with water and meadows. It only takes a quick look at the magnificent panoramic view of the Alps to realize why the ADFC, which is the German Bicycle Club, awarded this route 4 stars. The diverse route passes through the former kingdom of Ludwig II, the fairy tale king and royal behind Neuschwanstein Castle, an early highlight of this tour. It's well worth stopping in Füssen and Kempten, the largest town in the Allgäu region and the hub of the Allgäu cycle loop. There are no fewer than 9 versions of this route, and Sebastian Kneipp is an ever-present figure as the first person to discover the healing power of the mountain water and the inventor of the famous form of hydrotherapy named after him. A tour of Old West Berlin. The Berlin Wall divided the German capital for 28 years. The best way to explore what is left of the former border installations these days is on a bike. Cyclists following the Berlin Wall Trail will be powerfully reminded of Germany's division. Most of the trail runs along the border patrol path in the west and the path used by East German border guards for surveillance trips in the east. The loop leads cyclists past the last remaining watchtowers, museums, and memorials, such as on Bernauer Straße, through the modern-day city center and around the old border. The blend of nature and dramatic history makes the Berlin Wall Trail a themed city tour and a scenic route in one. The next tour is also one of my favorite places because I'm born in the north of Germany, and this tour goes always along the sea on the North Sea cycle route. It's measuring over 6,000 kilometers in length. The North Sea cycle route is the world's longest signposted cycle path. Almost 1/6 of the route, 921 kilometers, hugs the German coastline. Starting off in the Netherlands, it runs along the North Sea coast in Lower Saxony, with the spectacular Waddenzee and the distinctive saltwater moorland of the Jadewald. Along the route, Bremerhaven and Cuxhaven provide some urban diversions. The next point of interest on the route is Hamburg, the gateway to the world. The route continues through Schleswig-Holstein, which is characterized by marshland and fens, dikes and inlets. Other main attractions include Westerheversand Lighthouse and Husum, which is the birthplace of Theodor Fontane, before cyclists pass the tiny Halligen Island as the idyllic German section of the route comes to an end. The towns of Thuringia cycle route, it's about 7 beautiful locations. The towns of this route links 7 of the prettiest towns between Eisenach and Altenburg. And cyclists can admire delightful natural landscapes and learn about the eventful past of this densely forested free state. This long-distance cycling route is a dream, scenically and culturally. 7 city beauties, including the old trading city of Erfurt, the RT Altenburg and Weimar, with 14 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, lie along the cycle route. From Eisenach with Wartburg Castle, the route covers 225 kilometers on a flat to slightly hilly path to Altenburg. Nature lovers also get their money's worth. The Weimarer land region, which is tranquil villages and vineyards, is reminiscent of Tuscany in Italy. Have you ever thought about spa hopping with a view of the Alps? It may seem a little unlikely that a long-distance cycle path that connects spa resorts, thermal bath, and tranquil historic old towns would be so challenging. But perhaps that is exactly why there are so many options for taking a relaxing break on this route. The spa cycle route starts off on the hilly side by Lake Constance here and goes on to Allgäu. It charts a course through a number of well-maintained thermal baths that are hard to resist and stunning natural scenery featuring lakes, hills and moorland, forests and meadows, nature reserves and parks. There's plenty of variety to be found on this challenging long-distance cycle path with fantastic views. This cycle route has it all. On 250 kilometers between Lake Constance and Allgäu in the south of Germany, you have to climb 3,000 meters in altitude, but there are plenty of rewards in store. Heated cyclists can refresh themselves in cool lakes or relax in no less than 9 spa towns with thermal bath along the route. This 400-kilometer route around Stuttgart blends history and stunning scenery with fine dining. with plenty of facilities for cyclists. This is an ideal route to explore on an electric bike. The route around the state capital of Baden-Württemberg includes the Swabian Alp Biosphere Reserve, the Forest Nature Park, and the wine-growing regions by the Neckar and Ems River. This was just a selection of great bike routes. For more information, you can go to our website, which is germany.travel. There are several cycling routes throughout Germany. You will find them on an interactive card. You just click on the red button and then you receive more information. I also posted the address of the German Bike Club, adfc.de. And on our website, you find all information about sustainability, nature, cities, and culture. I would like to thank you for joining this webinar, and I hope to see you in Germany soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Anja. That was great. We're going to Germany for 3 weeks in September, and now I think I need to stay for a month.
Good.
I don't see any questions in the chat, so I think we're going to keep going. I'm just going to share my screen. Somehow, bear with me. So thank you again to Anja. Mandy and I are both going to talk about a couple of tours. Actually, we've got 2 tours to talk about. And I'm going to start. I'm going to talk about cycling around Lake Constance, which is also referred to as the Bodensee. This is a favorite of mine because I used to live there. It's about 240 kilometers around the lake, and we have all kinds of different tours that will take you around the lake. This particular one is very much a leisure tour. Lake Constance is actually the biggest lake in Europe. And Lake Constance is bordered by Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. So on this tour, you go through 3 countries. And actually, if you want to make a little detour, you can get in Liechtenstein as well, which is a very small country. It's not directly on the lake. So it's a 7 days, 6 nights self-guided. You start in Constance. And from Constance, you go around the lake through the high Rhine to Stein am Rhein, many medieval cities along this route. You go to the city of Uberlingen, and you pass through Meersburg, which is in this picture. We used to live here. If you can see the lake in the distance, the ferries go back and forth across the lake all summer, so you can actually traverse this lake by boat. This is the Altstadt in Meersburg. There's also it's the Altes Schloss. There's also, which is the old castle, and then there's a Neue Schloss, and Neue Schloss was built in 1700, so it's considered new. From Meersburg, you keep going through the wine country to Friedrichshafen, where the Zeppelin was built. And then you continue on to Lindau. And then you cross the border into Austria to the festival town of Bregenz. You don't spend very long in Austria. From there, you go through Switzerland. Lots of little pretty villages on the Swiss side. And then you end up back in Constance again. This is a nice, easy tour. You can also do this. You can make this tour harder. Like I said, we have all kinds of versions of this, but this is a very nice, cycle-friendly, all on bike path, beautiful tour around the lake, which is an absolutely beautiful place to go. Now I'm going to pass it along to Manny, who's going to talk about cycling from Metz to Koblenz.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for taking part and for watching the presentation. I just want to add to Judy's Lake Constance. What I always enjoyed when I went around Lake Constance was when you get into Austria on going around the lake, you can obviously, if you look up towards the your left, you can see Innsbruck, if it's a clear day, way up on the top. So it's really a beautiful, beautiful route around Lake Constance. And I certainly suggest that there's lots of options, whether you want to do a road bike tour or whether you want to just do a leisure tour. There's lots and lots to see around it. And it's just a very popular tour. So there's always lots of cyclists on the route. Similarly with the Moselle, which actually the Moselle actually starts up in France, just north of Nancy, and flows down through France, obviously, and by Luxembourg, and then through Germany, and empties out in at Koblenz into the Rhine. There are different colors of water. So if you see the water from the Moselle running into the Rhine, you'll see there's quite a difference in color of the water. It's all to do with how the water where it comes from. So this we have this on our website. Obviously, we have a number of different tours along the Moselle. We have them also starting in Luxembourg. We have it starting in Salzburg, or Trier. And if you start in Trier, which is part of the way through the tour along the Moselle, you'll find, as you see in this information, it's a Roman city established over 2,000 years ago, and so there's all sorts of museums. There's museums with the Roman things left behind. There's also still the amphitheater up on the hill, the Roman amphitheater, which is certainly interesting to visit. Trier is a beautiful city. The nice thing about the tours along the Moselle is they go every day during the season. So if you want to spend an extra night, for example, along your tour in a place like Trier or Kolcham, which is further downstream towards Koblenz, we can organize the tour that way, and you just pay for the extra night. Because they're self-guided tours work in a very nice way. Luggage gets moved every day. Your hotels are all pre-arranged for you, and you get great maps, and you get a chance to sort of cycle at your own pace, which is really a wonderful thing to do. So whether you start from Luxembourg or you start from Trier, or you start from, obviously from Trier, it's a shorter distance, so you can get 7 days and 6 nights, or you can get 8 days or 5 days. All sorts of options are there. And they're beautiful cities along. The nice thing about the Moselle that I've always enjoyed, besides the fact it's downstream towards the Rhine, is that it's a very pretty, well set up route, usually along the Moselle. I think I recall one hill, small hill, on the route. Other than that, it's flat and downstream. So you can see a lot of swans in various areas, like in Kolcham. There's railway lines basically going, which I'll mention, along a lot of these routes. This route has railway lines as well. You want to start this in Luxembourg, or you want to start it in Trier, or you want to start it in Metz. You can take the train from the Frankfurt train station, airport, directly to any of these areas. Just have to remember that it's a long trip to places like Metz. Metz is a very beautiful little French city, very nice town square. The church, for example, has, which is in the town square, one of the churches, is a magnificent old church. Actually, it has a Marc Chagall window in it, as well as the doors are big enough to get stagecoaches in, so it goes way back in time. there's just so much to see along the Moselle, and it's very pretty. The other thing that the Romans planted was grapes, which is why the Moselle area and along the route as the river winds its way towards the Rhine, you'll see these wineries or vineyards up the sides of the mountains or the hills, but the route is flat. And it's very, very pleasant. Nice little medieval cities along the way, or towns, great places to stay. And the operator we work with there is very good about getting great reservations for clients. So it is a special tour. I did it numerous times with people, and always very enjoyable. So all that information is available on our website, or you can just email us, and we'll be pleased to provide you with more information and make sure that all your questions, if you have any, are answered. Thank you again, and I appreciate the fact that everyone watched this, and we look forward to working further. We've booked numerous people on this particular route, just as we have on the Lake Constance route as well. Thank you again. Enjoy May and enjoy the upcoming summer.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. A very special thank you to Anja. This will be available on YouTube later, so if you want to see it again, and if you have any questions that haven't been answered tonight, please feel free to send us an email. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your summer, and let's go out and see the world. Thank you very much.